This problem says the area of the following rectangle is 20 inches. Find its length and width. So we're told that the width of this rectangle is x minus 2, but we don't know what x is. We're also told that the length is x plus 6. So given this information, how can we find the length and the width? Well, here's what we know about a rectangle. The area is equal to the length times the width. So we know that the area is 20 inches. That's what they tell us. So we can write 20 is equal to the length. So the length is x plus 6. So let's write x plus 6 times the width. And the width is x minus 2. So we've set up this equation and we can solve for x. We can figure out what x is. So what we can write is 20 is equal to, on this right hand side, we can distribute this x into these parentheses. So we'll get x times x, which is x squared. And then we have x times negative 2, that's minus 2x. And then we can distribute the 6 into these parentheses. So we get 6 times x is plus 6x. And then we have 6 times negative 2, which is negative 12. So we simplify a little bit. We have 20 is equal to x squared. Negative 2x plus 6x is plus 4x. And then we have minus 12. Next, we can subtract a 20 from both sides. So on this left-hand side, these 20s cancel out. We're left with 0 is equal to x squared plus 4x. And here we have a negative 12 minus 20, that's minus 32. So what we have on the right-hand side is a quadratic equation equal to 0. So what we can do is we can factor this right-hand side. And the way that we do that is we ask ourselves, what numbers multiply to negative 32 but add to positive 4? Well, that would be 8 and negative 4. So what we can do is we can rewrite the right-hand side as x plus 8 and x minus 4. And we can solve for x. So we'll notice that if either of these parentheses is equal to 0, this whole right-hand side would become 0. So for this parentheses to be equal to 0, x would have to be equal to negative 8. So one of our solutions is x is equal to negative 8. And for this parentheses to be equal to 0, x would have to be equal to 4, because we would have 4 minus 4, which is 0. So our other solution is x is equal to 4. So we have two possible values for x here, but we want to make sure that both x values are valid. So the way that we do that is plug both of them into the length and the width and see if we get positive numbers. So we'll notice right away, if we plug in a negative 8 right here for x, we would have negative 2. So the length of a rectangle cannot be negative. So x is equal to negative 8 is not one of our answers. But we'll notice that if we plug in a 4 for either of these equations, we will get a positive value. So x must be equal to positive 4. So the last step is to figure out our length and our width. We're just going to plug in a 4 for x. So the length would be 4 plus 6. That would be 10. So 10, and we'll write inches as our units. And the width would be, if we plug in a 4 right here, 4 minus 2 is 2. So the width is 2. We can also write inches as our units on that one. So these are our two answers. The length is 10 inches and the width is 2 inches. And we'll notice that if we do multiply 10 times 2, so the length times the width, we get 20 inches, which we're told the area is indeed 20 inches. So that's how we can double check that we got the right answer.